Do you find yourself caught in the same cycle every year where it's New Year's, you're making the resolutions of, hey, I want to build my health, I want to build my strength, I want to get back in shape or maybe drop 20 pounds, and so I'm going to start exercising. But by mid-February, the gym is a distant memory of what you find yourself doing day after day after day. If so, you are not alone, and it is not your fault. But there are some simple things that you can do in order to reverse this trend for yourself and completely change your trajectory going forward. That is exactly what we're going to be talking about on today's episode of the Exercise is Health podcast. We're going to cue the intro song, and then we're going to dive right into this conversation. Welcome to the Exercise is Health podcast, where we will be breaking down the strategies and tactics you need to know to build your health, strength, and function without feeling achy, sore, or injured.
We're your hosts, Julie and Charlie, the creators of the Exercise for Life membership. Your podcast starts now.
Hey, welcome back, exercisers, to the Exercise is Health podcast, brought to you by Exercise for Life Studios, where we believe that your health is your most valuable asset. And the single best thing that you can do to both boost and protect this asset is exercise. Specifically, exercise is geared towards building the health and function of your muscles. We are your hosts, Charlie
and Julie.
And today we are talking about this idea of hacking your fitness New Year's resolutions if you're over the age of 50. I mean, how many times have you gotten the idea in your head that, okay, yeah, it's a new year, it's a new me, it's a new outlook. I'm going to start exercising. And by mid-February, you're like, yeah, no, that's just not happening anymore. Life got in the way, or, everything from the holidays seemed to carry over past the holidays. And whatever I had in my head on December 31st when I was thinking, oh yeah, no, I'll definitely go to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week. That's not happening anymore. Well, if that's you, you are not alone. In fact, the majority of people are done with their New Year's resolutions, meaning not that they've completed them, but rather they're just not doing them anymore by mid-February. So how can that not be your story any longer? How can you actually shortcut your ability to get the results you're wanting from a fitness perspective with your New Year's resolutions? That is exactly what we are discussing on today's episode.
I love this time of year for fitness because everyone's excited about exercise, improving their body, and it's really not a bad thing. But New Year's resolutions get such a bad rap, mostly because they are not sustainable, right? They're something that everyone knows is like a 4-week, 6-week, maybe you make it to 8-week process because you're so excited and you make a goal that's like way too giant or unattainable or unreasonable, or you have to injure yourself or, completely slash out the rest of your life just to attain these goals. And really, fitness should not be taking away from your life and your experience of your world. Exercise and fitness, when designed appropriately, should be helping you live your life more and experience your life more and be able to do more of the things you want in your life, not the opposite. So in today's episode, we're going to be teaching you how to switch that whole dilemma there so that your fitness goals right now, beginning of the year, and really any time of the year, if you're listening to this not, right when it was released, these are the tips and the strategies that we recommend you to apply so that you can hack your New Year's resolution goal or your any time of the year goal and really make sure that it's going to benefit your health. And today we're really targeting those of you that are 50 and over because you guys are a unique population and we have these very specific tips for you.
Now, a lot of times when it comes to hacking your fitness goals or whatever, people will be like, well, it starts with you have to believe that you can do it. And then it goes to, make it as convenient as possible to get it done. And then it goes to find a buddy or workout partner or somebody to hold you accountable. And look at that. We're not discrediting all of that or discounting any of that, but we have some different advice for you today that you likely haven't heard before, and it really stems around not what you are doing from an exercise perspective, because the reality is many ways of exercising can build your health, but rather how you are doing it, because how most people are exercising actually is not building their health. So even though there are a lot of opportunities to build your health with exercise and to be consistent with your workouts and to get your workouts done conveniently, because of how your exercise is being done, it limits the opportunity for all of that. So what we are going to be discussing today is changing how you are going about exercising, relearning the how of exercise, not necessarily the what of exercise. Meaning we're not going to be like, oh, you need to go do this specific workout or do these specific exercises or anything like that, okay? It's not that that's not relevant, but that's not what we're talking about today, because really what it boils down to is relearning the how. That is the thing that's going to help you make lasting change. That is the thing that's ultimately going to hack your fitness New Year's resolution.
Absolutely, Charlie. So the first thing that we need you to wrap your brain around is changing your mindset from getting it done to I need to build into my future. Okay, so a lot of times when we're really excited about a goal, we're amped up, we're motivated, we're ready to rock and roll, we just want to go and show up to every workout and just, slam it, get it all in, do it right now, do as much as possible. And when we find that people, especially 50 and over, go in with that mindset, a lot of times the workouts leave them injured and leave them worse off than when they began. And this is so common that the fitness industry has now labeled injury after workout as like a good thing. So when you are sore after your workout, or you can't sit on the toilet, or you can't go up and down your stairs because your body is so impaired due to the workout that you did, we've now somehow decided to label that as something good. And I think because the general fitness population does not know how to otherwise do fitness, right? They just know do it all, do as much as you can, and give it all, 110%, okay? Max it out more than you possibly can. And we are applauded for that. But that leaves us in a very questionable state. Number one, you're having to take way too much time to recover from your workout. We need to be exercising every day or most days out of the week. And so if you're recovering from mild injury, aka soreness, more tightness, not being able to move after your workouts, you can't do that. And also, it oftentimes puts your body in a worse state, meaning you're not building towards the next thing. You're just trying to dump everything you got into the workout. What is the goal of exercise here? The goal of exercise is not to exercise. The goal of exercise is to do the exercise to build into your life, to build into your goals. So we have to respect exercise. Give exercise all the respect that it should get and use it appropriately. Don't harass your exercise. Use your exercise to build your body. So ways that you know that you're building your body towards the future is a lot of the things that you can feel during your workouts and after. So signs that you've built your body during your workouts are at the end, you feel more energized. You feel more connected. You feel more stimulated, ready to go. Your body feels more mobile and loose. If your body's feeling not more mobile and more tight, that's a sign you've done too much. So anything besides those results of like after my workout, and it's not like you're feeling better just because of adrenaline or because you sweat some, but you physically feel more capable. That means that your exercise stimulated your body to become a better body.
Yeah, one thing we talk about a lot is this idea that your workout today needs to set you up to come back and work out again tomorrow. So just think about that concept versus how the majority of people are approaching their workouts this time of year. Like you were saying, Julie, the majority of people are approaching their workouts as something to deplete their body, as something to have to recover from, as something that they're only going to be able to do 2, maybe 3 times a week because their body needs that time off in order to recover from the soreness, recover from the achiness. I mean, if you think about anything in life, you're like, okay, well, I'm only going to be able to do it sporadically. And every time I do it, it's going to take, a large effort on my part to start to feel well enough again that I can go back and do it again. Like that's just a plan for something that's going to be very short-lived, right? But that's how most people approach their exercise, as opposed to what we are discussing, what we are promoting on this podcast is your workout today needs to set you up to come back and work out again tomorrow. Just the very nature of that idea of like, okay, if you exercise today and now your workout has made you more ready to come back and work out again tomorrow, and then tomorrow's workout makes you more ready to come back and work out again the next day, and that day's workout makes you more ready to come back and work out again the day after that, Like, guess what? It's this snowball effect where you are just building one workout on the next, and every single workout makes you more ready to come back and work out again the next day. That's a completely different approach than what most people take with their workouts, where it's this grind it out, squeeze it out, really just got to deplete myself, burn as many calories as I can, and then fingers crossed, I have enough willpower to get past all the negative side effects that I know are coming after this workout to be able to come back and do it again. Well, not tomorrow, but maybe the day after that, or, if nothing else, 2 or 3 days down the road, right? Like that's the difference of what we're talking about, okay? So it's a completely different approach to how you're thinking about your exercise, which then makes it a different approach to how you are executing your exercise. And this really leads into step number 2, which is this idea of prioritizing input over output. In other words, we want you to prioritize the actions that you're taking over the outcome that you are trying to achieve by those actions.
Charlie, you're absolutely right. It's thinking about exercise as this is an input, and I'm going to continue to put this appropriate input into my body, regardless of what output I get. What happens a lot of times when it comes to New Year's resolutions is that we have a goal in mind, and we love goals. Like, let's have some goals. But we can't inappropriately use the tools to get to our goals, because then we have negative side effects. So, for example, you're exercising, which you know is good for your health and your body. But then let's say you have a weight loss goal and you're not losing weight the way you thought you would be losing weight. And so then you either stop because you're judging your exercise, aka the input, relative to the output, which was I didn't lose as much weight as I want, or I didn't get as strong as I want, or I'm not gaining strength as quickly as I thought I would. And we have to judge the input for the input, making it appropriate for your body, making it so that it's repeatable and you can come back day after day and week after week, year after year, versus being like, well, I tried the exercise thing and I didn't get to my goal, which was weight loss or strength or whatever, or I didn't get there fast enough. My expectations weren't met. And so then we start either changing our input and using it too aggressively or inappropriately, or we stop altogether, which both are not ideal. So let's focus on exercise for what it is and making it customized and appropriate for your body. The more that you are adjusting your exercise, not for the program and not for the weight loss goal or the strength goal, but more relative to what your body needs in that time, how you're entering your exercise, what's your fatigue level, what's your stress level, how does your body feel, like what's the readiness level, are your shoulders bothering you today, but today is shoulder day, so we're just gonna push through and do it. No, we have to be adjusting the input for the input, adjust the exercise for the exercise, because the way that we construct the how of exercise, how you're exercising, is going to manipulate how it is perceived by your body and welcomed by your body. Because here's the thing, we can control what we do with our exercise. We cannot control how quickly your body is ready to change. We can't control that part, right? We can just do the right actions, manipulate and adjust and body match our exercise so that it's as appropriate as possible, and almost like lay out the red carpet and invite the change to your body. We can't force your body to change, but we can change the stuff that we do to our body to create a better environment to invite that change.
And this really leads into the third step of this process, which is to learn how to listen to your body and make changes accordingly. Okay. And this is what we often call body matching your exercise. Now, I know a lot of people talk about, you need to listen to your body, right? Like it needs to be intuitive with what you're eating and what you're doing and when you're sleeping and everything like that. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. There's this whole kind of like woo-woo side to like listening to your body and everything like that. What we are talking about is actually being able to interpret the signals that your body is sending to you, these sensations that your body is creating while you are exercising, and then making these slight tweaks and changes to how you are conducting each exercise in order to create the sensations and get the signals that you're wanting your body to create. So one example of this is we were recording this bands workout for our Exercise for Life membership, and one of the exercises that we were doing with this kind of like standing twist with a band, and just by like feeling out how my core muscles were squeezing while I was doing the exercise, and like the sensation that was being generated by them while we were doing the exercise, I could just manipulate my hand position just a little bit on the band and be like, oh yeah, that's a stronger sensation. Oh yeah, I like that sensation better while I'm doing this exercise. And that is an example of just listening to the feedback that your body's giving you of like, you're kind of going through the motions here. Like, feels like you're trying to squeeze something, but you're not really. And like, oh yeah, now that's a very distinct squeeze. You can make a direct connection to those muscles, and it doesn't feel sharp or pinchy or, any jointy, zingy pain kind of going on. It's like, no. Like that feels like a really direct connection, a really solid squeeze. And it's just these slight tweaks and changes to how you are doing the exercise that will allow you to feel that.
Absolutely, Charlie. I wish that exercise was like we could get on this podcast and be like, hey, if your knees hurt you when you do a squat, just do this one change. Then they're going to be fixed. Oh, your shoulder hurts when you do an overhead press? Great. Do this one thing. And it's not overcomplicated, but it's more complex than that. And one of the things that we've discovered as we've been creating the Exercise for Life membership, which is a home-based or video-based exercise program, is that as we have worked with more and more people, we're realizing that there's principles that you have to learn to be able to, make these tweaks in your exercise. And that has to be learned through experience and over time. There's not just like, oh, this is how this is. You're getting this communication from your body. There's zinging in your knee when you squat. Then do this. This is the one solution. Because there's many solutions, because everyone has different reasons that they're experiencing different, signals from their body. And so when you're listening to your body, figuring out the ways that you can change and body match your exercise so that it can continue to do all the things that we've just been talking about, meaning your exercise is still building you towards your next exercise, and your exercise is being customized, and you're not harassing your body with your exercise just to get to this goal. So this point 3 is just critical. We need to be listening to our bodies. We need to learn how to listen to our bodies. One thing I find is a lot of people are like, yeah, we should all listen to our bodies. But then when it gets to the gym, just shut your brain off and just do it. And that's a big problem. We don't want you to shut your brain off and just do it, because then you run the risk that you're going to be injured, or you're setting yourself back, or you're not going to be able to exercise tomorrow or the next day, or this exercise thing will last this 6 weeks. The more that we are listening to the communication that our body is giving us, the more that we are able to customize our exercise, which then is the best way to build your body. So I have a quick story for you. This actually literally happened 2 days ago. My client came in. She's in her late 50s, and she's like, Julie, I'm just going to need my leg amputated. My knee keeps bothering me. There's an issue. I can't run. I can't limp. And I was saying, okay, well, how often are you visiting this strength training thing? And it was crazy because we did one exercise for her hips, using all the principles that Charlie and I are constantly talking about, going slow, listening to your body, focusing on the cues that your body's giving back to you and adjusting around that. And we did one set, and she stood up and she's like, Julie, what the heck? My knee feels perfect now. And she literally walked in grumpy, wanting a knee replacement, all irritated. But here's the thing. When we exercise to promote the health and function of our body, listen to our body, and prioritizing this resistance training thing, our body gets stronger, more functional, more ready. And that was like a huge success right there. And it also shows how potent this resistance training thing. A lot of people feel like, well, I'm not going to use exercise to solve that problem because it's going to take forever. Well, not necessarily. It just depends on how you're dosing and how you're applying the exercise to your body.
Absolutely. And it's not even just for those who are relatively newer to exercise either. I mean, we've had people that are, careers in the fitness industry start doing our live workouts and start doing the workouts we have in the Exercise for Life membership. And they'll email us and message us and be like, wow, okay, like my body feels completely different than it used to. And when you get to that place where your workouts are changing how your body's feeling, how your body's functioning, simply by changing how you are exercising, well, now all of a sudden your workouts are something that you can keep coming back to, that you can continuously do day after day, that you don't have to think, oh my gosh, how much time am I going to need to recover from this? Or like, oh, do I really want to go and do this? It's going to not feel that good during, it's not going to not feel that good after. It's like, no. Like, I'm going to feel better after, and it's going to feel pretty darn good during, and I'm actually going to be ready to go for the rest of my day. It's going to be able to enhance everything that I do throughout the rest of my day, as opposed to being something that kind of like depletes my body and depletes the rest of my day because I need to recover from it.
Okay, we need to talk about what this like practically looks like. Okay, if you feel like you're exercising in a manner that's going to make it so that you need to stop in 6 weeks because you're a little bit less motivated, or it feels like you're already getting injured from it, or you're sore and achy, these are signs that you are not following our 3 hacks to your fitness program. We don't want you having this short-lived exercise plan. We don't want you feeling more injured, and we certainly don't want you in a worse position than where you are right now. A lot of people come to their New Year's resolution and they're like, dang, I'm worse than I was last year. How did that happen? Because I had a New Year's resolution last year. We want this exercise, this motivation, this interest, this excitement about fitness to launch you into an exercise plan and an exercise routine that you can continue for years and years and years. We want it to be changing your health, changing your fitness, changing your strength, changing your ability to use your body, right? That means like changing your ability to participate in life. Like, hey, that you can get up and down off the floor easily. You can take that ski trip. You can sit on a plane for 4 hours and be okay with it. Those are the signs that your body is becoming more ready and more prepared for life because of how you are exercising.
If you'd like more guidance from us on how to go about implementing these hows into your workout, not just changing what you're doing, but really changing how you're doing it, that's exactly why we created the Exercise for Life membership. In there, you'll get access to not only all live workouts that we do, but hundreds of pre-recorded workouts that can really match you wherever you are at right now, whether you are just new to exercise or whether you're not new, but you've taken, more than 6 months off, or whether you've been exercising consistently and you are looking to kind of tweak how you are doing things so your body can feel stronger, function better, and you just feel healthier overall. So again, that's exactly why we put together the Exercise for Life membership. All you have to do to get access to everything within it is go to www.exerciseforlifestudios.com/membership. From there, you will see all the different options that we have as far as being able to get in as a member into the Exercise for Life membership and what each level of membership does get you in the Exercise for Life membership. So who do you know that needs to hear this episode? Who do you know that is setting a fitness goal for their New Year's resolutions, but they are approaching it from the standpoint of like, oh, I'm going to get this goal by mid-February. Oh, I'm going to get this goal by April. I'm going to get this goal by summer. And because of that approach that they're taking to it of like, oh, I'm just going to get this goal so much more quickly than ever gotten it before, they're actually putting themselves at risk for not sticking with their goal very long at all. Share this episode with them so they can understand the hacks that they're going to need in order to be able to stick with their goals and stick with their fitness long term and make those long-term sustainable changes to their health, to their strength, and to their function. And while you're online, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It helps people find our podcast when they're looking for information on exercise and when they're looking for information on health. So if you found value in this conversation today, let us know by leaving us that 5-star rating and review. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week. This podcast is for information purposes only. The statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Julie and Charlie Gates, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical issue, consult a licensed physician.